Now, I have a question for you that you got to answer this honestly. Would you rather be happy or would you rather be right? Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we know we got a room full of liars. All right, now today we are going to meet some right fighters. I mean, right fighters that will go head to head. And I'm going to decide who really is right and who's wrong. Now, our first guest, Eddie and Stacy, both feel that they're right. Now, I mean, they just say, that's it. I'm right. I'm willing to end my relationship over this. Neither of them are willing to budge. Eddie wants to follow his dream of becoming an ultimate fighter. But his wife has given him the ultimatum, says, you got the ultimate fight right here if you're going to do that. And he's going to say, either give up your dream or I'm out of here. Take a
My husband is very serious about pursuing a career in the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Ultimate fighting is another form of hand-to-hand competition, much like wrestling.
I have said it's either pursue a career in this or choose me.
It's not fair when I love you as much as I love you to ask me to do that. I just don't understand why you don't get that.
I get it.
Can you put the UFC and this drive and this dream aside?
I know I'm right about this. I'm afraid of a spinal injury, a brain injury, Eddie ending up in a coma, and I'll be robbed of this man that I love so much.
I feel I'm right about this because it's a drive. It's something that's in my blood and I just can't let go of it.
I do feel like Eddie's a stranger. I missed the memo saying, oh yeah, by the way, I have this dream to be an ultimate fighter. I saw $1 Million Baby and I can't bear to think about Eddie becoming a vegetable like that.
Stacy's being unreasonable laying down an ultimatum like that because she's not even letting me have the chance to compete in one match.
I understand the need for competition, but I think he should go play tennis.
I don't think I should have to choose between my wife or my dream of becoming an ultimate fighter.
It's extremely violent. I've seen people get choked unconscious, fist on face contact. Eddie took me to a fight once and he was hoping that it would get me on board. Within 15 seconds, one of the fighters was kicked in the head.
Obviously, this didn't help my case with Stacy.
Eddie and I fight about this all the time. It got to the point where I couldn't even have a conversation. I would walk out of the room. I was just very, very angry.
Stacy's called me nuts. She's called me crazy for even considering pursuing ultimate fighting.
When you and I talked about getting married, when did this ever come up?
If someone offered me a fight tomorrow, I don't know if I could turn it down. I'm right about ultimate fighting because I think I have a legitimate shot.
I know I'm right about this because who would want to risk such a wonderful life for a career in violence? All it takes is one punch and a life can be ruined.
Okay. Now, tell me how you guys got into such an absolute head-to-head, no wiggle room on this at all. Because you're saying, do this, I'm gone.
Yeah. I think, to me, I absolutely adore my husband. I just love him. He's the most wonderful person that's ever come into my life. And it scares me. I'm just absolutely scared. And I don't know, when you love someone that much, how you can watch them get punched, you know? And even if the worst didn't happen, it's still, he would be taking punches. And I can't watch someone I love get hurt like that. It's just not in me.
I can't let that stop me, though, from at least wanting to see if there's some substance to it, though, Dr. Phil.
Okay. Here's my first question, though. Do you think you're being rational about this with him?
I'm probably to say, okay, that's it, I'm leaving, our marriage is over, when it's so important to me, no. That's probably not very rational, just to say, psh.
Okay. So, well, no, wait a minute. See, you were doing so good. You were doing so good, and then you started to say, but.
I guess I feel like we had this plan. You know, we were on page, and I know I watch your show all the time, and I know that before you get married, it's like get everything on the table, be on the same page, address these deal breakers.
Yeah, but even on my list, which I think are very exhaustive of what you should talk about before you get married, I don't think I've got a line for Ultimate Fighting Championships.
Well, then that's my point. It never came up. So I feel like, okay, what's this about
But
now?
is the way to deal with this for you to say, fine, if that's what you're going to do it, because I got to pursue my dream, I'm not going to negotiate it, and you say, fine, if you do that, the marriage is over, I'm out the door. Look, relationships are negotiations, and when you throw out ultimatums, negotiations stop. When negotiations stop, relationships break down, people get hurt, they make irrational decisions, and you wind up with both of you not having what you want. And that's where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this was our deal, you know? So that, I know.
Dr. Phil, I want to keep to the deal.
You have a good,
I just want her to
very
hang
good
out
point.
and see if this has anything to it, you know? I don't want to drop a bomb on the relationship and call it quits.
Okay,
just
how
to
much do
pursue
you
this.
know about this ultimate fighting business? Do you know how dangerous it is?
I've heard people tell me stats. Somebody before I came said, oh, nobody's ever gotten killed or anything like that. I watched the show with him. There's a
Well, I'm going to give
reality
you some
show.
alternatives. And I'm not just going to fill you with a bunch of statistics, but I want to give you guys some alternatives here because you're going to both wind up with what you don't want. You're playing with fire here. Okay, so the question is Eddie right to put everything, including his marriage, on the line for his dream, or does there need to be some wiggle room? Now, Stacy says she'll leave her husband if she can't convince him he's wrong about being an ultimate fighter. And you understand that what I'm saying is you're asking a question, who's right and who's wrong? Tell you straight up, you are both wrong because you are throwing out ultimatums. And there is a rule. You say you watch my show all the time, then you should have heard this rule. You do not put your marriage on the line over day-to-day issues. What y'all have done in the very beginning of your marriage here is put it on the line when you have a disagreement. Bad deal. Stop that. Don't do it. Reopen the dialogue and negotiate. Now, I want you to do something for me. I want you to make to Stacy her argument. I want a complete role reversal here. I want you to convince her that you shouldn't do this.
Stacy, I shouldn't become an ultimate fighter because I could get injured, I could get seriously hurt, I could suffer maybe long-term injury, I could get hit with that lucky punch, you know, that fluke of a punch that could do something to me. And I'd want to be useful of a partner to you as I could in the future and not risk that.
That's it?
That's all I got. I'm just shooting from the hip here, Dr. Phil.
All right, now I want you to make his argument to him. And I hope you can do a better job than
He's
that.
only got a couple points to
He's
work with.
already been hit in the head, apparently. No, all right, make his argument to him.
I'm going to be such a better partner if I'm allowed to pursue this dream and think of the life we could have if I can be successful at this. And if I'm always wondering what was going to happen, and if you don't let me pursue it and just try one local match, then I'm always going to wonder if this was something I could be really great at. And if I'm sitting around filled with regret and filled with wondering, I don't think I'm going to be a very good husband to you.
Let's do it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I love it.
All right, now, how did she do?
I think she did great.
Okay. How did he do?
He didn't have enough. He wasn't emphatic enough.
Yeah,
It didn't seem like a big deal.
See, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Women use 5,000 words a day. Men use about 1,500.
That sounds about right.
So that was you're about a third of where she was, which tells me you haven't really listened and heard her. She said that she is worried about what it would do to her mentally and emotionally and physically for you to be at risk and for somebody to be hitting you and pounding on you and worrying that it's going to change who you are, and that she didn't get into this deal. She didn't sign on for violence in her husband, and that this is his life and this is his pursuit. I mean, I know all that stuff, and I just met her. So you haven't really heard her because you're throwing out ultimatums. You've got to be willing to listen to her, and you have to do your homework. Now, I brought somebody I want you to meet. This is Dana White. Now, Dana White is the president of the Ultimate Fighting Championships, and he's host of Spike TV's The Ultimate Fighter. Hello.
How are you, Dr.
How are you?
Hi, guys.
Welcome to the show. This is your first bout right here. Go. All right, now, the truth is that, and I'm not saying that you like boxing either, but the truth is there are a lot of misconceptions about the Ultimate Fighting Championships. True?
There are, and she was correct. There's never been a death or serious injury in the 12-year history of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. But on the other hand, she makes a good point. The UFC is the gold standard for the sport. And you know, we have the proper medical testing. The doctors are there on site. We're sanctioned by all the major athletic commissions in this country. The sport is absolutely safe. I mean, are there risks? Absolutely. It's a contact sport. But I would make sure that I fought in a sanctioned event that was overseen by an athletic commission in whatever state he chooses to fight in.
Okay, and so but this whole thing, the whole idea of a couple of guys getting up and running into each other, that just seems bizarre to you, doesn't it?
It does. I mean,
but
it
see,
does.
you don't want to be married, do you?
Well, maybe I do.
No.
I'm pretty good.
No, you think you do, and you don't want to be married to you. I'll promise you, you don't want to be married to somebody that thinks like you, looks like you, smells like you, acts like you. You don't want to be married to somebody like that. Do you want to roll over in the morning and look at you?
Not particularly.
No, you want her to be different. You want her to be different, and you want him to be different. I do. I've told Robin that 1,000,000 times. If I had done everything she ever asked me to do and changed who I was, then early on I'd have been sitting out in the park reading her poetry and lighting a candle and all of that sort of stuff, and that wouldn't be who I am. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just not me. If you were going to do that, you should have married that guy that you knew that. All right. You wanted a wuss, you should have married the other guy. But so what I'm saying is these differences are good, but the mistake you've made is you've thrown down the ultimatum. Reopen the dialogue and talk about this, okay?
Yeah.
See if you can find some middle ground. You need to do the same thing. This stuff about saying, well, I'd be willing to walk off from my marriage if she blunts my dream. Lighten up. Okay, you need to open the dialogue and see if y'all can find some middle ground here.
Okay.
Okay, reopen the negotiation. All right, so you're both wrong. Both of you, ultimatums are not the way to deal with this situation. All right?
I thought you were going to be on my side.
Yeah, I knew you did. Today we're talking to people who are willing to fight for something they believe in. Now, our next guest, Mark, has spent years defending his virginity, and I mean years. But most recently, he's not so sure it was the right thing to do. Take a look.
DrPhil, I'm a 30-year-old virgin who's now wondering if I did the right thing by saving myself. Meeting girls has never been a problem for me. In university, I was commonly referred to as a legend. My virginity grew as part of my reputation, and this caused a few close calls as girls tried to seduce me, but I was always able to run away. I enjoyed dating, but I always felt that I was committing adultery if I kissed another girl. Where I'm from, people think if you're not married by 30, there's something wrong with you. Either you're gay or maybe your parts just don't work. I go to so many weddings, and sometimes I think it could be me standing up there had I played my cards different. I feel like I'm always the bridesmaid and never the bride. I'm starting to question it myself. I'm waiting for my true soulmate. My virginity is the gift I'll give to her. DrPhil, what do you think? Was I right to stick to my principles, even if it leads to a life of loneliness? Yours truly, Mark from Ontario, Canada.
Well, it certainly sounds virtuous.
It is what it is, yep.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, it sounds virtuous, but, how's it working for you? I mean,
Not so well.
Well, no, and the reason I ask, and I don't make light of that at all when I say it's virtuous. If that's what you think and that's your value and that's how you feel about it, then let me be clear. You're right. You absolutely are right. And I think when you have principles and values and you have the strength of conviction to stand up and embrace those, that's great. I'm wondering if that's really what's going on.
I think I believe in soulmate, and
I hear a lot of people talk about that.
yeah.
I've never figured out what that is.
Well, for me, it's a bit odd. I've just since I was I don't know when I was 10 or whatever, always just had this notion about a certain woman, and we always coined her as a blonde-haired girl named Sarah.
What if your soulmate is kind of short and dumpy and redheaded?
Well, I better get new glasses then.
Because you said
you've
written her a love letter.
Yes, I have.
You haven't met her
10 years ago. Yeah.
About 10 years ago.
7 years ago, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, you've written her a love letter, and you said in the love letter, I don't know when we'll meet, but I intend to stay loyal to you until the day we meet.
Yes, sir.
You said, I know that to a blonde girl named Sarah, I know that your eyes are different and that you would be a hometown beauty queen and you love children and animals.
Yeah.
So are you just like a hopeless romantic?
I'm wondering if I'm just plain hopeless. You know?
But see, here's the thing. First off, this whole idea of the soulmate, and you say I'm not gonna date until I meet her. I'm just gonna travel the world like the guy in Kung Fu or something. You're just kind of walking around waiting to her walk up to you. Are you thinking you'll know it when you look in her eyes?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Have you been close?
No, I mean, I've dated a lot of girls. Like, and go off. One year I dated 37 girls for coffee or whatever, but I just never came across my soulmate. You know what I mean? And I just held on for her.
Yeah. Do you tell them about this? No, I'm serious. Do you tell them? Do you sit down and say, "Well, I enjoyed the coffee, but you're not her"?
Yeah.
And that kind of dries up the conversation, doesn't it?
Well, it's
okay.
Yeah. It's driven a few girls over the bend.
Yeah. I would think.
You know,
I would think so. Let me tell you what my concern about this is. If what you're looking for, if the definition of this soulmate is this perfect fit, this one that when you see her, you will know it, I don't think she exists. And let me tell you why. Because I think relationships are nurtured and grown. And I mean, I always tell people, if you find an 80% fit and the 20% that's not there doesn't include some of the drop-dead deal breakers,
yeah, I agree.
like drugs, alcohol, really bad things. If you can find that 80% fit, you will grow that 20% in much less time than you would waste looking for the 100% candidate out there. Because I think you meet people and you find that beginning, you find that thing to hang on to and build onto, and you teach them about you and you learn about them and you grow together as a couple instead of just walking the earth looking for that perfect woman.
I don't see the soulmate as being a perfect person whatsoever. I just think that God destined me to be with her. And I'm just, but I just don't know if I'm way off in left field on this one.
Yeah, well, he might have destined you to be with someone, but you might be missing her if you have this, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, animal-loving beauty queen fixedness in your thinking, and you just look at him and go, no. And maybe what you should do is kind of put a little effort and energy into it. You may have missed her already. You may have to go back through the 37 you've already made.
Yeah.
Yeah. She could have been, because there could have been something around 19 that kind of rippled along there or something. Yeah. So you might, and she may have found somebody else by now. What a gyp that would be.
Yeah.
If it should have been you. I'm just saying, I think you got to kind of loosen up your boundaries a little bit. Okay. And stop telling them about her. About Sarah, and don't be carrying that letter around. Save that till you meet her, and don't put a name on the top of it. And when you meet her, put Karen on there if it's Karen, and it'll seem great.
Well,
I think you just need to loosen up a little bit.
Okay.
You think?
Sure.
Give it a shot?
I'll give it a shot.
Well, we're talking today to people who feel that they're right, and they just refuse to back down. Now, our next guests all feel they know what's best when it comes to Jody's 8-year-old daughter and her weight issue. Take a look.
Tastes really good. My daughter is absolutely not fat.
My granddaughter Annabelle is overweight, and my daughter Jody refuses to admit there is a problem.
You want some more? Sure.
Annabelle is a stocky, box-shaped little girl. She has little fat rolls, and they are no longer cute.
My mother makes me feel like I'm making poor choices.
Jody's sisters agree with me.
Annabelle can even out-eat me. When she was 6, we stopped at McDonald's and she ordered a Big Mac with fries. Once I bought Dunkin' Donut Munchkins, and Annabelle ate almost all of them.
Last night we had a salad, spaghetti. It's not like she's eating devil's food cake all day.
My sister is in denial about Annabelle's weight.
She does like mayo.
I don't think that she sees the pounds that Annabelle is starting to gain.
Thank you, Mom. I really wish that my family would back off. They make it seem like there's something wrong with her, and there is nothing wrong with her.
Annabelle's lifestyle is pretty sedentary. There is a lot of TV watching. I do not see her as drinking enough water, getting enough exercise.
My daughter is extremely active. We take her to ice skating lessons. She goes swimming.
My fear is that kids will give her a hard time at school.
Jody needs to address the issue very quickly.
I'm very worried that if my family does not back off, my daughter is going to develop an eating disorder.
On this issue, I know I am right.
I know I'm right because everyone in my family thinks Annabelle has a weight issue, except for her mother.
When I hear my family criticizing my daughter about her weight, it makes me feel very angry. Dr. Phil, will you please tell my family that I'm right?
Well, all right, this is a really important situation to me. And I'll tell you why, because it's Annabelle that I'm interested in. And y'all can argue back and forth all day long as she isn't paying the price for it. Is she paying the price for all of y'all debating and arguing about this?
I don't think so at this point. I know that she has not overheard our concerns as of yet, but what I'm concerned about is that, I mean, she's getting older, she's getting smarter, she's gonna start understanding what we're talking about and what other people might be saying about her, which I haven't heard except for my family members.
Do you think it's affecting her?
I don't know that it's affecting her yet, and one of the reasons I don't think it maybe is because Jody is protecting her from even addressing the problem. And I've always heard you say that you can't change what you don't acknowledge.
Y'all probably heard me talk about how important I think extended family is. I think it's great to, have aunts and grandmas and all of that. And you have a good relationship with her, right?
Very good.
So, and you enjoy that, and it's supportive, and there's nothing negative there at all.
No.
Okay, and same with you have a great relationship with the child, and that's all good. But my question is, do you have a problem with boundaries here? Because I can just tell you, we've raised 2 kids all the way up through now in college. And I was happy to listen to a little input now and again, but there wasn't anybody going to raise my kids but me.
Well, but the problem is that if there is any validity to what my family is saying, then I feel like as a mother, maybe I do need to look at this issue.
So you're wondering if you could do a better job?
Right, I don't see her as being overweight. I see her as so beautiful and loving and caring, and I know that my family sees the loving and caring, but
and she is all those things, but when a doctor has told Jody that Annabelle is in the 97th percentile for her age group, that means there's only 3 children out of 100 who weigh more than Annabelle does.
See, and I don't think that's what it means.
You gonna believe me if I take a position?
Yes.
You gonna believe me if I take a position?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. That was a test.
I feel my granddaughter is overweight. The evidence is very clear because that little belly pooches out from underneath clothing.
The most painful thing is that I really do pride myself on being a wonderful mother. I want my daughter to understand that she is not fat. She is absolutely gorgeous.
Well, today we're talking to people who feel their point of view is the only point of view. Now, Jody's mother Joyce and her sister Kelly feel they're right when it comes to 8-year-old Annabelle and what they call her stocky build and rolls that aren't really baby fat anymore. And Jody just thinks they're just wrong. They're just absolutely wrong about her weight. Well, look, when we talk about weight and we talk about body mass, this is math, not magic. So this isn't a matter of opinion. So we don't have to really debate that. She is, by our calculations, at the 95th percentile, which means she is at risk for becoming overweight. And I've said that I'm going to say who I think is right and wrong in this situation, and there's some on each side, but I'm going to be very specific. I'm not taking the middle ground. You're saying that this girl, that before this gets out of hand, she needs to be on a diet.
Correct.
That is absolutely wrong. Absolutely drop dead, 100% wrong. The worst thing you could do right now with an 8-year-old girl is put her on a diet. People that go on these yo-yo diets, at 8 years old to put a kid on a diet, it's insanity. You don't want to do that. If you want to set her up and program her for low self-esteem, compromised self-concept, and the potentiality of an eating disorder, put an 8-year-old on a diet and start restricting her and start telling her what she can and can't eat. Again, this isn't just opinion. I mean, this happens. Could she trim up a little bit in terms of health? Yes, she could. Now, you want to know what I think you're wrong about? You are her role model. You are the most powerful influence in her life right now. And you medicate yourself with food. You comfort yourself with food. You companion yourself with food. You celebrate with food. You use food for other than nutritional purposes, correct?
Yes.
And you're her model. And so when she sees you reward yourself, oh, it's been a long day, let's just go get a big this or that. Then you're saying, okay, we're going to use this as a reward. That's not the best thing that you can do for her. You don't want to put her on a diet. You don't need to put her on a diet. And let me say one thing about this. I don't know if you all heard this, but when you heard Joyce talking about Annabelle and she was talking about her stomach, did you notice how lovingly she said it? She said her little belly pooches. She wasn't saying it like she's being critical and harsh or ugly with her at all. And neither did you. When you were saying it, you said, oh, she can eat more than me, but you were saying it in a very loving and supportive way. So I don't want to say that I'm characterizing y'all as being critical at all, and I don't want you to feel guilty or blame yourself because that implies bad intention. The best thing that you can do is change your lifestyle. You need to lead by example. You need to lead by example. You need to decide, you know what, I'm going to deal with emotional issues psychologically. I'm going to deal with physical issues physically. I'm not going to use food for other than nutritional purposes. And it would be great if you went through and cleaned out your house and got rid of all those impulse foods and stopped a regular diet of fast food. When I say regular, you do it frequently. You're not raising your kid on fast foods.
Right. We go once or twice a week.
Yeah, and if you took just that out of her menu, would solve the problem. Mm-hmm. Just that alone, because you calculate that by the week, and there's 52 weeks in a year, so you do that 104 times, multiply that through by fat and calorie, and I'll guarantee you can account for those pounds. And if you changed just that, or just made healthier choices when you were there, it would make all the difference in the world. And make no mistake, 70% of overweight children become overweight adults. So you want to fix the problem with the lifestyle and the example that you lead. Well, we're talking today to people who insist they're right and nothing can persuade them otherwise. Now, Jilliana says she and her fiancé Mike agree on every issue but one, and they say there's no room for compromise on this biggie.
Mike and I are at opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to homeschooling our 4-year-old son.
I think that Malachi should go to public school so that he's not stunted socially.
And I feel like we should homeschool our children. You can write your name. You want to write your name first?
He is learning one thing over and over and over and over again.
He is not learning one thing over and over and over again.
I think that Malachi isn't going to be able to attend school dances, be in the school play. He's not going to have opportunities to be in the athletics.
When we first met, I told him that I would like to homeschool Malachi, and he didn't really say anything, but I think he was trying to impress me. But now Mike's opinion has clearly come out.
The only reason you want to homeschool him is because you want to protect him.
I am not trying to shelter him.
One of Joanna's underlying issues is that she's afraid to be separated from the children. When Malachi was first born, she wouldn't let anybody else hold him.
I don't feel that I'm sheltering Malachi at all. I know that Mike is wrong about this. Michael, have you ever talked to other homeschooling kids?
I have talked to other homeschooling kids.
They are really close with their parents.
Yeah, they're close with their parents, but they can't function in a group. I think it's difficult for homeschool kids to adjust to the real world. On this issue, I know I'm right.
When I was in 6th grade, I had someone ask me if I wanted to smoke pot. I would like to keep Malachi out of the area where kids are doing those things. Last year, I started homeschooling him. To make it appear like a school setting, we had him in a separate room, so he knows when he goes to that room, it's school time.
Malika.
I feel that Malachi is advanced for his age. I feel that the school system isn't equipped to handle a child this advanced.
You know how excited he would be to go out and ride the bus?
Why can't he ride another bus?
What are we gonna do? Stick him in the Tahoe and take him around the block? Tell him it's a school bus ride? I mean, he doesn't
Stop
get
making those dumb comments.
I could do that too. Watch.
In the last 6 months, I've noticed that his attention span has disappeared.
I don't want him to be getting in trouble in school because of his short attention span.
How many kids do you have?
Just 2. I absolutely feel that I would be letting my son down by sending him to public school. I know I am right about this.
I believe I'm right and she's wrong.
Well, good flexibility there. Why are you so certain that this is a bad thing to do?
I think that by sheltering him, we're going to keep him away from groups, and he's not going to be able to function in a diverse society. We're going to take him out of what is real in the world and show him what we want him to see.
And are you concerned about that?
Yes, I am concerned about that.
Have you done your homework?
Just pretty much what we have heard from family members and stuff like that.
And
so.
your family members are professional educators or
No.
psychologists or researchers?
And we've done some internet research too, and we've seen both sides of the story.
Yeah, because here's the deal. This one is fairly clear cut. The truth is that the research shows that there is absolutely no disruption of social development and evolution for children that are homeschooled up through the 8th grade. Now, just absolutely none. So, but now that presupposes that the parents are willing to make the time commitment, the money commitment, the lifestyle commitment to provide that academic environment for the child at home, and then to take them to participate in the extracurricular activities of their peer group, like the Boys and Girls Clubs, the YMCAs, the church groups and socials and sports and choirs and things like that. Once kids get to high school, social development is important. They become more independent, they want to interact on their own, they're post-pubescent, and so they don't do well in a homeschool environment in high school as they do socially in a public or private school. So the truth is, they're not going to be like some nerd who's scared by their own shadow because they're homeschooled if you do a good job with the homeschooling and you get them into the extracurriculars after the fact. But I have to come down with you on this because until the 8th grade, they're going to do as well or better academically, and they're not going to be socially impaired as a function of doing it. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.